You're listening to Your Superpowered Mind on the Superpower Up podcast, the show that investigates the innate power within your brain to create lasting change.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Your Superpowered Mind. I'm your host, Kristin Maxwell, and in this show, we explore the process of transformation and give you tools and strategies that you can use to transform your own life. Today, we're going to be exploring whether changing your mindset is the secret to success. And our guest today is Regan Hillyer, and we are all in for a treat. She is a self-made multi-millionaire, a serial entrepreneur, a Forbes contributor, success coach, influencer, thought leader, and keynote speaker. And in addition to multiple other businesses, she's the founder of Regan Hillyer International, where she provides personal development and business growth strategies to businesses all over the world. So Regan, welcome to Your Superpowered Mind.
Hi, Kristin. It's great to be here.
I am so looking forward to hearing some of your wisdom around mindset. And my first question to guests is always, what superpower did you uncover as a result of mastering your mind?
Totally. Look, there are many, but if I tune into one big one right now, it would be the ability to really connect with my higher self and really pull the highest version of me into the now, and using my mind, my mindset, actually craft that identity and craft that version of me, and start asking myself, how does this version of me get to show up? And then by embodying that, that's allowed me to constantly be living from the highest version of me, which then reflects back into my physical reality.
Wow, that is an incredible skill. This idea of connecting with your highest self, did you always have that ability or that knowledge that that's what you wanted to do, or did that come through some event or a series of events?
Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't born doing that. That's for sure. I remember really early on, I was just starting out. You know, I was about 6 figures in personal debt at the time, and I was really, I guess, looking outside of myself for the answers around how do I create a life that I actually love. And I got invited to a speaker's dinner at one of the personal development events that I was at, and I was not a speaker. I was a attendee trying to figure their life out. And the speaker invited me along, and I went and I walked into the room. There were about 40 really beautiful, successful people there. And I literally felt like I did not fit in. I felt like I wasn't meant to be in that room. It felt so scary. I felt so small at the time. And I remember thinking, okay, well, I've got a couple of options. I can either run and leave and go home, or I can spend the evening just trying to figure out how have these people created their success. And so I took the latter option, and I started asking them questions and, asking them, how they've created their beautiful lives. And by the end of that evening, I went home totally and utterly confused, because they'd all done it a completely different way. They all had different strategies. They were all doing different things. They were focusing on different things. And I thought, man, I don't have any clarity, even after spending the night basically interviewing these people. And so I remember sitting in my room, and I thought to myself, okay, well, what is actually the same about these people? And all of a sudden it dawned on me. I was like, you know what? They all feel the same to be around. In fact, they all walked a certain way, and their shoulders were back, and their head was high, and they felt confident. They felt grounded. They felt warm and loving. And I started unpacking these things, and I looked at how I walked into the room, and it was almost the complete opposite of these people. My head was down. My shoulders were slumped. I felt absolutely horrible. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be invisible. And I thought to myself, what if I just started being like these successful people? And I started doing exactly, what they were doing in terms of their physiology and their body language. I started thinking like they would be thinking. And I was kind of creating this process in my head. And then everything started to shift quite drastically around me in terms of my life and my results. And so that was really the moment where I thought, oh, okay, like I'm actually just connecting in to a higher version of me and using my mindset to craft that version so that I can manifest my results a little bit faster.
Wow, that's beautiful. Did you have a hard time shifting into that, or was it something that you pretty naturally adopted? Because I know so many people, they have the idea they want to do it and then they forget to do it.
Yeah, no, it was really hard at the beginning. And I remember thinking often, I started calling it the millionaire version of Regan. And I would just say all the time, okay, I'm just going to snap into the millionaire version of Regan. What would the millionaire version of Regan be thinking about? How would she be walking? How would she be talking? And I kept throughout the day conditioning myself. And I had all these moments where I used to think, you know what, if anyone knew I was doing this, they would actually think I was insane, because my current results, my bank account, my life, my impact, my lifestyle, all of it was so far, it was so different to what I was being on the inside, that anyone looking in probably would have thought I was completely insane and had totally lost it. And so I had a lot of self-doubt through the process. It did not come naturally. I had to constantly snap myself back into being in this millionaire version, being in this higher version of me. But over time, it started to come more naturally. And over time, it started to become more my natural state. And then, you have this moment where you wake up and you look around your life and you're like, wow, this is my dream. This is everything that I was calling in. And then you realize that there's a next layer. And so you start asking yourself, well, how does the higher self beyond this start acting? So, it's a never ending game. And it's something that I still condition myself to do today.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm going to want to ask you a little bit more. Well, I guess I will ask you now, when you're in those periods of self-doubt, and how did you pull yourself out of that? I mean, there's some people I know that sometimes with my clients, they're in the self-doubt and they're so stuck in it, they almost can't even see a vision beyond that.
Yeah, totally. And it can be all consuming. It really can be. I believe self-doubt's one of the biggest things that actually blocks people and slows down their success. And so I think the first step is really just having an awareness that, okay, I'm really doubting myself right now. If you're in denial or you can't see it, then it's really hard to shift it. But if you actually just get raw and real and honest with yourself and go, you know what? Okay, I actually am really scared right now. I'm doubting myself. I don't think I'm enough for this. If you actually get clear on that, then you have a much higher chance of actually shifting it. And so self-doubt for me is when your identity isn't lined up to the vision that you want to create. And so you then want to actually get clear. After you're clear that there's self-doubt, you want to start asking yourself, well, what am I actually calling in? Because if you're not defining that, and if you're not super clear on that, then, so many people don't get what they want in their life because they're not actually clear what they're asking for. So you get into detail and you define that vision, and then you look at, okay, where am I doubting myself around this? And I like to just purge it out. You can do this talking with a friend. You can do this in meditation. I love doing it through journaling. So I literally write out all the things that I believe are stopping me, all the stories I'm telling myself, all the limiting beliefs. I purge it out on paper. I write out, I don't think I'm enough for that. And, that's too hard. And who am I to deserve that? Write it all out. Get it out of your system. And then when it's out and you feel complete with it, it's a purge, right? So you look at it and go, okay, cool. I have a choice and I'm no longer going to live from that place. And you can rip it out of the page. You can turn the page over if you want. You can burn it. You can do whatever ritual you want, right? Just energetically let it go. You're making a conscious choice that, okay, that is no longer my mindset. That is not who I am. You turn to a new page and then you start creating and crafting how this higher version of you would show up. Okay, well, I choose to believe that I am enough for this. I choose to believe that it gets to be easy. And you write out everything like that. And when you get to the end of this, you may also look at it and go, you know what? Well, it'd be great to believe all that, but I still don't. Right? And just know that that's okay. Sometimes this can take time and it takes more than doing it just once. And we have to actually condition ourselves. And you will get to a point where you won't even be writing out, I believe that I'm enough for that, because it will just become a part of who you are. But it can take practice and going deeper and deeper into that process.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's so funny. I have my clients always do something that I call a purge too. And because it's really just purging all of those things that you half believe and you don't. And even the stuff that you're like, this isn't true. I know it's not true, but I feel like it's true.
Right.
Very funny. Well, we need to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, I want to really be going a little bit more into, whether changing your mindset is the secret to success and how you help others do it. But where can listeners learn about you and your work?
Yeah, definitely. You can go to reganhillyer.com and subscribe there to the email updates or any of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. It's all under Regan Hillyer, and there's a lot of free content on there as well.
Great. Thanks.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/thenet to learn more.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Your Superpowered Mind, and we are talking to Regan Hillyer about her view on the secrets to success, and she definitely knows success. And I guess what type of people or businesses do you work with? And do you start with the mindset, or where do you start with them when they come to you and say, I want to succeed?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I generally work with people who, there's a big range in terms of men and women and ages, but the common thread is that there's a people that really believe that they desire to have it all in their life, and they believe that deep down it's possible. They don't have to sacrifice one area of their life for the other. And, I work with people that really believe that they're put here to make a big, big impact on the planet. They know they're here to do something big. Sometimes they'll already be living into that. Sometimes they're just getting started on that mission, but they have that burning fire inside of them. And so we get clear firstly on, well, what do you actually want to create? What do you want to do in the world? What is the next level of your life, of your business, whatever it is that we're focusing on? And then from there, we do go deeply into the internal work. I really believe that success across the board is 80% mindset. It's 80% the internal game. And then it's, 20% what you actually do in terms of the strategy and the aligned action on the outside. So for me, the strategy is always, it always comes from the mindset. And it's like the mindset is a springboard into the aligned strategy. The strategy is almost like a reaction of what, of course, you would then do in the physical world, rather than starting with the strategy and then trying to cram your mindset to align to it. Yeah, we always do it the other way.
I love that, because it does seem, I see so many people out there working on taking action, and it's like pulling teeth for them every single step of the way. They're riddled with self-doubt and questioning everything that they're doing. And I love that you work directly with, let's think about who you are and how you're showing up before we even get out there and work.
Exactly. It's so important. Yeah. And I see so many people just sabotaging it by doing it the other way around. And that's also where I started, when I was deeply in personal debt and nothing was working. Everything I was investing in was learning about strategies. I was learning how to invest in property, and then how do I get some sales training, and then tell me about how to start an internet marketing business, and then how do I trade currency. And I was just going nuts on all these strategies, and nothing was working. Nothing was clicking into place. I wasn't having any success. In fact, I was probably going backwards. And there was a moment where I said to one of my mentors, you know what, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should just go and get a job. Maybe I'm not meant to be successful. I'm not meant to be an entrepreneur. And he said to me, he's like, Regan, you've got it all backwards. He said, success is 80% the internal game, and then 20% what you're doing on the outside. He said, you've got this equation way flipped. He said, you're doing like 80% strategy, if not 90 or 100% strategy. And the minute I started actually working on me, that's when everything started shifting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's very funny because with a lot of mentors, they are focusing on the strategy. And they'll say with marketing, you don't actually really want to focus on the internal game because nobody wants that. But you're obviously turning that on the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I also, looking through a lot of, you do have a lot of great content online. And so I really recommend that people go and check out everything that you're doing. I see that you do, you have some things talking about manifestation. So how does that fit into manifesting into the whole mindset bit of this?
Yeah, absolutely. So manifestation for me is a beautiful combination of using mindset and then also working with the energetic field around you. And I believe they go hand in hand. So the energetic field, when I talk about that, it's basically the field around you, which is a part of your system, which is, different codes and patterns of information and waveforms. And if there's things blocked or stuck in your energetic field, and you're just doing mindset, then you can slow yourself down a little bit. However, I've found that when you work with both, your results can drastically speed up. And so we basically use your mindset as a tool to go deeper into altering your energetic field. And then what happens is that obviously all of your external physical manifestations and results, they're a reflection of within. They're also a reflection of your energetic field. So the faster we can clean everything up and get it in alignment, the faster we can actually have your life as a reflection, with everything that you desire to actually manifest in your reality.
That's great. And how with people with changing the energetic field, is there some tip that you give people to clear out their energy, or is it a pretty complicated process?
Yeah, look, there's layers to it. There's lots of different layers and processes. I have some things online where you can literally go through a short, 45-minute process and do a whole energetic field rewire, which I call energetic architecture, right through to, a 5-day event where you learn the depths of how to do all this work. But just know that your field works really well when you're utilizing your mindset and you're giving your field really, really clear, direct instructions. And so if you're already deep in mindset work, you'll probably find there's a lot of links and crossovers in terms of the tools here, because obviously your unconscious mind works really well with clear and direct orders as well. So you can start saying things, for example, like, I request that if there's any distortion in my energetic field, it is cleared out and dissolved out right now with ease, with grace, with flow. Something like that is so powerful when you actually put intention around it, and you'll be surprised how quickly your field can go, oh, okay, great. Well, that's my order. Let me start clearing that out. Let me start sorting that out for you.
That's great. I love the idea of giving instructions to our brain, because so much of the brain can be caught in thinking about everything that's wrong and what's not going right. And I find, both in my own life and when working with clients, that it really helps to come up with something that you're going to tell your brain to think about and to work on, rather than just going off on its crazy little, wait, what's going wrong here?
Totally. It's like a 3-year-old. It needs focus, and it shouldn't be left unattended.
It really should not be left unattended. So I hear that you have a new book coming out. Can you tell us about that?
I do have a new book. Yes, this is co-written with my beautiful fiance, and it is called The Abundance Codes. And so we've basically downloaded 52 codes in order to activate abundance across the board in every area of your life. And so it's a little bit like a manual or a Bible or a playbook, where you basically go through and work with each of these 52 codes, and they're in different categories of life. So you might say, okay, I want to turn to the wealth codes, and you flip to one of those, and then you go into one of the ones that you're working with, and each of the codes have all these different activators which allow you to activate the code in your energetic field. And again, we're using mindset in order to do this. And so the elements of this is, each code has a visual activator, which is new sacred geometry, and you basically drop into a really quick couple of minute meditation, and you've received the geometry through your eyes. So you're activating your field through the geometry that you're receiving. The next piece is obviously an explanation of the code, so you understand what's going on. And then an internal activator. So this is a little bit similar to an affirmation, but it's a direct order that you tell yourself in that moment, and you tell your conscious and your unconscious mind, and you repeat that throughout your day. So it's conditioning your mind to be in alignment with the code. The next piece in this is a physical activator. So this is where we actually embody the code. And so this is a quick 5-10 minute thing that you do through your physical body. It might be a certain movement. It might be clearing out an organ. It might be a certain breath that you're using. And so you activate through your physical body. Then we layer on a rewire, which rewires your energetic field and your unconscious mind. It could be seen as similar to a guided visualization or a short meditation, but you guide yourself through it. And then the last piece is a manifestation accelerator. And so then that's what you actually do for the rest of the day in your physical world, right? Because it's not just about doing the internal work and then, hoping and praying it'll all show up. It's about the actual action step around how you activate the code with the 20%, right? With the strategy. And so when you combine all of that and when you're working on all of the codes, the idea is that you heighten the abundance across the board in every area of your life.
Wow, that sounds really incredible. Because I love how you are really pulling together all aspects of our body, the energetics, the physical, and the mind. That is incredible. How did you guys discover this? You said you're doing this with your fiance.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. It's kind of an odd question, but how did you figure all of this out?
Of course, yeah. Well, look, we really like to say when we're talking about the codes that they're not our codes, they're universal codes, and they've come through us. We basically channeled them. So it was about a year and a half ago, a little bit longer now, and we were in California, and we were sitting outside. It was a beautiful evening, sitting under the stars. And we just started having this conversation, and we started saying to each other, you know what, if people in humanity actually did this, then they would be so much more abundant. And then my partner said, you know what, and if they did this, that would make such a difference. And then I said, yeah, and actually if they did this as well, then that would be huge. And then we looked at each other and we said, okay, let's write this stuff down. And so we started writing. And we kept going in this flow state. And then when we felt complete at the end, we had this beautiful list of almost like these instructions or these names or these titles. And we counted them, and there were 52 of them. And we didn't know what they were. We thought, okay, well, that's interesting. Let's go to sleep and see what that comes of that, And then it was a couple of weeks later where we noticed the same process started happening between us. However, this time we were saying, you know what, if people just stopped doing this, then that would free up so much more abundance. Yeah, and if someone else stopped doing that, then, oh my God, that was really stop limiting them. And we did the same process, felt complete with it, realized there were 52. And then we got the other journal, and we realized that these things that we'd just been given matched to the other things, right? So we quickly worked out that we had a set of 52 cards. We also then had 52 limiters, which are also in the book, which are the things basically blocking or stopping the cards coming through and being activated right now. And so it was at that point where we thought, okay, maybe this isn't just, content for a free live stream. What is this? And we received a very clear message. This is a book. It is called The Abundance Codes. It wants to come through in this way. It needs to be color. It needs to be hardcover. It needs to be full on. It's all these criterias, right? And so, yeah, then it was quite a journey. Not only working with the codes ourselves and with our clients as well, and utilizing them and playing with them, but also getting them into a format where the whole world can really have access to them. It's been a fun journey. Yeah. Wow.
It sounds beautiful. And is the book out now, or is it coming out soon?
It's coming out in the next couple of months. Yeah. So you're able to pre-order the book if you go to either my website or theabundancecodes.com. And it's coming out in less than a couple of months. So we're very excited.
Oh, that is very, truly exciting. And how do you work with your fiance? Is that, are you often working together, or was this just something that was a special situation where it came through?
Yeah, we do work together. We have separate businesses in our own rights. We've talked about mine. He has, his own brand and business and multiple businesses as well. But we also have, we have joint work together. So even when we first connected, he was adamant that, I was the one and he wanted to be in a relationship with me. And I'd actually just come out of a really long-term relationship and I was not looking for that. And so, I kind of told him no for a while, a couple of months. But what I did say yes to was working together because I saw immediately how our work and our gifts and our purposes linked together. It was very much about the mindset and the energetics, as we've talked about. He's very much about the physical body and activating and manifesting through your physical body. And so I saw how these two things linked together and how holistic it was when you put them together. So we started taking people to Peru and running 9-day retreats. And we have another event called the Soul Remembrance Retreat. And then we did some stuff online. So, and obviously fell in love in the process. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And what a beautiful blending of what people truly need for health, all the way around.
Exactly.
The energetic and the mindset. Well, I so appreciate you sharing, what you have learned and what you know about the mindset. And one of the things I love is how orderly it is. It's not a woo-woo, just feel it here. It's a very practical, grounded, and there's part of me that very much appreciates that approach. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really important so people can actually grasp it and use the tools. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I think there are people at the beginning when they start, they feel so overwhelmed and so incapable that they need something to grasp at, something that says, okay, go do this. So they can start really starting to shift. And then you do start shifting and you don't even believe it, but you do. So, well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and remind the listeners again where they can find you and your book.
Yeah, definitely. So reganhillyer.com. The book is also on theabundancecards.com, and any platforms on social media, it's all under Regan Hillyer.
Great. So thank you, Regan. And thank you, listeners. Thank you for being here. And between now and our next time, remember that you do hold the power to change your world.
Thank you so much.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the superpower quiz today.